The stars looked different from this distance. Captain Lisa Morgan stood at the main view screen of the exploration vessel Horizon, watching the unfamiliar patterns of the Ta-CD system grow larger. After 3 weeks of faster-than-light travel, their routine survey mission was about to begin. "Navigation check complete, Captain. We're right where we should be," said Peter Collins from his station. His fingers moved quickly across the display as he finalized their approach. Lisa nodded. "Good work. Let's establish standard orbit around the 4th planet. Dr. Martinez, anything interesting on initial scans?" Olivia Martinez, the ship's xenobiologist, studied her readings with intense focus. She had joined this mission hoping to find simple microbial life forms. No human had ever encountered alien life, and most scientists believed that if it existed, it would be primitive. "Nothing yet, Captain, but the atmosphere readings are promising. This planet could support." She stopped suddenly, her eyes widening. "Wait, I'm picking up. That can't be right." "What is it?" Lisa moved to her station. "An artificial signal. Definitely not natural." Olivia looked up, her face pale. "Captain, I think we may have just found proof we're not alone." Communications specialist John Rivera was already working his console, confirming, "Captain, it's a repeating pattern, too organized to be random, and it's coming from the night side of the planet." The bridge fell silent. After centuries of searching the stars, humanity's question was about to be answered. "Yellow alert," Lisa said quietly. "Send the first contact protocol signal on all frequencies." Her heart beat faster, but her voice remained steady. This was why the Horizon carried a crew of Earth's best, for moments exactly like this. 20 minutes later, they had their answer. "Captain, something is rising from the planet's surface," Peter reported, his voice tight. It's a ship, and it's big, at least 3 times our size." On the view screen, a vessel appeared. It looked nothing like human designs, with smooth curves and an iridescent blue-green surface that seemed to shift colors as it moved. "They're responding to our signal," John said. "Audio and what appears to be visual data." "Put it through," Lisa ordered. The main screen changed to show a humanoid figure. It stood taller than any human, with blue skin that matched its ship and 4 arms positioned symmetrically around its torso. Large, multifaceted eyes studied them with what Lisa could only interpret as surprise. "We are the Viridian Collective," the alien said in surprisingly good English. "Your language was simple to decode from your transmissions. We had not expected to find new spacefaring life in this region." Lisa stepped forward. "I am Captain Lisa Morgan of the Earth vessel Horizon. We come in peace to explore and learn." The alien tilted its head. "You have developed faster-than-light travel recently." "Yes, within the last decade." "And how many wars has your species fought since achieving spaceflight?" The question caught Lisa off guard. "None. Earth united before we reached beyond our solar system." The alien's reaction was immediate. Its body stiffened, and its lower arms gripped something off-screen. "That is unexpected," it said finally. "Most species militarize space immediately." Before Lisa could respond, a sharp alert sounded from both their ship and, apparently, the alien vessel. "Captain," called John urgently, "we're picking up a distress signal. It's coming from a nearby system." The alien commander seemed to be receiving the same information. "A mining outpost is under attack," it said. "We must respond." Lisa made a quick decision. "We'll follow and offer assistance." As the Horizon prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed behind the alien ship, Olivia approached Lisa quietly. "Did you notice how they reacted when you said we hadn't fought any wars?" It wasn't relief, it was alarm. Lisa nodded slowly. "I noticed. Something tells me humanity is about to learn how the rest of the galaxy really works." The Horizon flashed into the darkness, following its alien guide toward a truth no human was prepared to face. The mining outpost was burning when they arrived. Pieces of metal and rock floated in space where a small station once stood. Only a few structures remained intact, with frightened survivors huddled inside. "This is worse than I expected," said Captain Lisa Morgan as she stared at the destruction through the Horizon's view screen. The Viridian ship had already begun rescue operations. Their commander, who had introduced himself as Zell, appeared on the communication screen. "The Kraxan Imperium did this," Zell said. His 4 arms moved in what seemed like an angry gesture. "They regularly attack outposts that are not heavily defended." "We can send medical teams to help," Lisa offered. "We have doctors and supplies." Zell paused, his large eyes blinking. "You would assist beings you have just met?" "Of course. They need help." The alien's silence lasted several seconds. "Very well. Your offer is accepted." An hour later, Lisa led a team to the largest remaining structure. Dr. Olivia Martinez brought medical equipment while Peter Collins carried supplies. The survivors inside were a mix of Viridians and 2 other alien species Lisa had never seen before. "I don't understand," a small green alien with 6 eyes said to Olivia as she treated its wounds. "Why would humans help us? What alliance do you seek?" "We don't need an alliance to help people in trouble," Olivia replied gently. The alien laughed. A strange, bubbling sound. "People. You use that word for all of us." "Yes. Is that wrong?" "It is unusual. Most species only use such terms for their own kind." While they worked, Zell approached Lisa. "Captain Morgan, we must speak privately." They moved to a quiet corner of the room. The tall blue alien seemed troubled. "Your species confuses me," Zell said. "You have not asked what valuable resources are here or why the Kraxan attacked. You simply help." "That's what humans do," Lisa replied. "At our best anyway. No species simply helps without reason." Zell's voice lowered. "There are over 30 spacefaring civilizations in this sector alone. All are engaged in war or preparing for it." Lisa felt cold despite the warmth of the room. 30 species, all at war. Of course, resources are limited. Territory must be defended. The Viridian Collective has been fighting the Kraxan Imperium for 300 years. Before them, we fought the Thrall Alliance for 500. But that's... Lisa stopped herself. On Earth, we had terrible wars too. But we learned from them. We found other ways. Zell made a noise like stones grinding together. Lisa realized he was laughing. "Your species developed faster than light travel without militarizing it first. That's unprecedented." Zell's eyes studied her carefully. "Tell me how humans view war." Lisa thought carefully before answering. "We had 2 world wars that killed millions. We developed nuclear weapons that could have ended all life on our planet. We came close to using them fully. That experience changed us. Most humans now see war as a failure of diplomacy, not a natural state." Zell's laughter stopped abruptly. "You've known peace because you were alone. That luxury ends today." John Rivera's voice came through Lisa's communicator. "Captain, we're detecting 3 large ships entering the system. The Viridian crew is calling them Kraxan warships. They're returning to finish what they started," Zell said. "My ship will engage them. You should leave immediately." "We can help defend," Lisa began. "No." Zell's tone was sharp. "Your ship has no proper weapons, and the galaxy is not ready for humans to learn war yet." Something in his voice sounded almost like fear. As Lisa ordered her team back to the Horizon, she caught Olivia's questioning glance. Both women were thinking the same thing. The aliens weren't just surprised by humanity's peaceful nature. They were disturbed by it. "Peter," Lisa said quietly as they boarded their shuttle, "when we get back to Earth, I think we're going to need to rethink everything we thought we knew about the universe." The shuttle lifted off as the first explosions lit up the darkness of space. The news of alien contact spread across Earth like wildfire. When the Horizon returned with Viridian representatives on board, people gathered in streets and squares to watch the broadcasts. Schools closed. Workers left their jobs. Everyone wanted to see the blue four-armed beings who had changed humanity's place in the universe forever. Inside the United Earth Government headquarters in Geneva, the mood was less celebratory. They've been at war for centuries, Global Defense Director Frank Adams said, pounding his fist on the conference table. His military uniform was perfectly pressed, but his face showed the strain of 3 days with little sleep. Centuries, and we have exactly 0 warships. The Horizon is back safely, a council member pointed out. Because the Viridians protected them. Frank's voice rose. We need warships, not exploration vessels. We need weapons that can match alien technology. Across the table, diplomat Alice Bennett shook her head. Her calm demeanor contrasted with Frank's agitation. If war is the galactic norm, perhaps our uniqueness is our strength, she said. We don't need to become what we've always feared. That's naive thinking that will get us all killed, Frank replied. President Ellen Ward raised her hand for silence. The room quieted immediately. Captain Morgan, you've spent the most time with these aliens, she said. What's your assessment? Lisa Morgan stood. She had barely slept since returning to Earth, but her eyes were clear and focused. The Viridians aren't telling us everything, she said. When I explained our history with warfare, they seemed disturbed, not relieved that we were peaceful, but actually worried by it. Worried about what? President Ward asked. I'm not certain, Lisa admitted, but they offered a defensive alliance almost immediately. They're eager to have us choose sides. On a screen at the front of the room, images appeared showing Earth scientists examining Viridian technology. The aliens had shared some basic systems, nothing military, but enough to improve Earth's medical and communication capabilities significantly. They're offering knowledge in exchange for alliance. Frank said, we'd be fools to refuse, or fools to accept without understanding their true motives. Alice countered. The debate continued for hours. Some council members wanted immediate military buildup. Others suggested isolation, cutting off contact until Earth was better prepared. A few supported Alice's approach of cautious diplomacy. Outside the council chamber, in a small meeting room, Lisa spoke privately with Olivia Martinez and John Rivera. The Viridians are getting impatient, John said. Their ambassador keeps asking when we'll make our decision. They expect us to choose quickly, Olivia added. They don't understand why we need consensus. Lisa looked out the window at the peaceful city below. Children played in a park while parents watched nearby. An ordinary day, except for the alien ship visible in the distance, floating above the International Spaceport. The Viridians weren't just surprised by our peaceful nature, Lisa said, voicing what had been bothering her since first contact. They were disturbed by it. Something about human history frightens them. What could possibly frighten a species that's been at war for centuries? John asked. I don't know, Lisa replied, but I intend to find out. Back in the council chamber, President Ward called for a vote. The decision was tight. Earth would accept limited technology exchange with the Viridians, but would not commit to military alliance yet. They would build defensive capabilities while learning more about galactic politics. That evening, Lisa met with the Viridian ambassador in the garden of the government complex. The alien towered over her, its blue skin reflecting the setting sun. My government has decided, Lisa began. You move too slowly, the ambassador interrupted. The Kraxan already know of your existence. Time is not your ally, Captain Morgan. Nevertheless, we will proceed carefully, Lisa replied firmly. The ambassador's forearms moved in a complex gesture. Perhaps we misjudged humans. We thought you understood survival. We understand it very well, Lisa said quietly. That's why we're being careful about who we trust. As the ambassador walked away, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that Earth had just taken its first step into a dangerous game whose rules they didn't yet understand. Kevin Watts had been working for 16 hours straight, but he couldn't stop now. As one of Earth's best programmers, he had been assigned to integrate human computer systems with Viridian technology. His eyes burned from staring at screens, but what he was seeing kept him wide awake. "There's something here," he muttered, fingers flying across his keyboard. "Something they didn't want us to find." His small office at the Geneva Technology Center was cluttered with empty coffee cups and half-eaten sandwiches. On his main screen, lines of alien code scrolled past, some translated, some still mysterious. A knock at the door made him jump. "Come in," he called, quickly saving his work. Nicole Foster entered, carrying 2 fresh coffees. As the lead intelligence analyst assigned to the Viridian data, she spent almost as many hours in the building as Kevin did. "Please tell me one of those is for me," Kevin said. Nicole smiled and handed him a cup. "Any progress?" "I think I found something big." Kevin pointed to his screen. "See these data packets? They're encrypted differently than the rest. The Viridians included them in the technology transfer, but they're hidden behind security protocols. Can you access them?" Nicole asked, suddenly alert. "Already did." Kevin couldn't hide the pride in his voice. The Viridians underestimated human programming skills. "I've been translating the contents for the past 2 hours." He pulled up a new screen showing what looked like historical records, star maps, dates, and detailed accounts of conflicts spanning centuries. "It's their historical database," he explained. "But the interesting part is here." He pointed to a section labeled with symbols that the translation program identified as Earth and Human. Nicole leaned closer. "They've been watching us." "For centuries," Kevin confirmed. "Long before we achieved spaceflight." They spent the next hour reviewing the records. As they read, Nicole's expression changed from curiosity to shock. "This can't be right," she said finally. "I triple-checked the translation," Kevin insisted. "The data is accurate. The records revealed a startling truth. Humans weren't actually peaceful by galactic standards. Earth's world wars, which humans considered devastating, were viewed by alien observers as minor conflicts. What truly separated humans was their capacity for total war, the complete mobilization of society and resources toward conflict, and the speed with which humans developed new weapons during wartime. Most importantly, the records showed that humans were unique in their ability to emerge from such conflicts with strong taboos against warfare rather than embracing it as inevitable. The galactic civilizations have been watching Earth for centuries, deliberately avoiding contact until humans achieve faster-than-light travel independently. They're not concerned we're too peaceful," Nicole whispered, the implications hitting her. "They're terrified of what happens when we're pushed to fight." Kevin nodded slowly. "According to these records, dozens of other species developed similar ethical views against warfare. And look what happened to them." The screen showed a list of extinct civilizations. All had been systematically eliminated or subjugated by the dominant powers who found their peaceful nature threatening to the established order. "We need to get this to Captain Morgan immediately," Nicole said, copying the data. As they hurried through the building toward the command center, Kevin's mind raced. Why would they include this data if they didn't want us to find it? "Maybe they didn't," Nicole replied. "Or maybe some faction among them wanted us to know." They found Lisa Morgan in a meeting with military officials. When they explained what they'd discovered, her face grew grave. "This changes everything," she said after reviewing the data. "The Viridians aren't offering us alliance for protection. They're assessing whether we're a threat." "But we're not threatening anyone," Kevin objected. Lisa's expression was grim. "According to their own records, that's exactly what makes us dangerous. We represent a different path, one that challenges their endless wars." Nicole understood first. "They're afraid we might convince other species that peace is possible." "Exactly," Lisa nodded. "And some species would do anything to prevent that idea from spreading." Outside the window, the Viridian ship still hovered above the spaceport, but now it looked less like a symbol of new friendship and more like a warning. Commander Eric Russell had never expected to lead Earth's first space battle. 3 months ago, he was supervising mining operations on Jupiter's moons. Now he stood on the bridge of the Defender, a hastily converted cargo ship with newly installed weapons based on Viridian technology. 6 Kraxan ships approaching Jupiter's orbit, Commander, reported his sensor officer, Susan Lee. Her voice was steady despite the tension filling the bridge. All civilian ships have begun evacuation procedures, added Communications Officer Alan Grant. But the mining colonies have over 2,000 people. They need more time. Eric studied the tactical display. The Kraxan ships moved in perfect formation, clearly expecting little resistance from the peaceful humans. They think this will be easy, Eric said. Let's prove them wrong. Deploy all ships according to Pattern Delta. Earth had only 15 converted vessels, not warships by galactic standards, but the best they could prepare in the 3 months since first contact. These ships now scattered in an apparently random pattern that confused the Kraxan sensors. The alien commander's face appeared on the main screen, reptilian with scales that shifted color as it spoke. This is Commander Vex of the Kraxan Imperium. Surrender your mining operations and withdraw your forces. Resistance will result in your destruction. Eric kept his expression neutral. This is Commander Russell of Earth Defense. Our mining colonies have civilian workers and families. We request time for evacuation before any discussion of territory. The Kraxan commander hissed with what might have been laughter. Civilians are your responsibility. Human. You have 1 hour to surrender the facilities intact, or we will take them by force. The transmission ended. Eric immediately turned to his crew. They're following standard galactic warfare protocols, he said. But we won't. Lieutenant Davis, implement Operation Swarm. Across the Jupiter system, small unmanned ships activated, moving toward the Kraxan vessels. They weren't powerful enough to cause serious damage, but they created confusion on Kraxan scanners. Sir, the civilians need at least 3 hours for full evacuation, Ellen reported. Then we'll give them 3 hours, Eric replied firmly. When the Kraxan ships advanced after exactly 1 hour, they found their targeting systems overwhelmed by the swarm of small vessels. The human ships, meanwhile, focused entirely on protecting evacuation routes rather than defending the mining facilities themselves. They're trying to target our command ship, Susan reported as the defender shook from a near miss. Maintain current strategy, Eric ordered. Remember your training. This isn't about winning a battle. It's about saving lives. The Kraxan forces, trained in conventional galactic warfare, grew increasingly frustrated. They expected humans to either surrender quickly or attempt to defend fixed positions. Instead, the human fleet constantly shifted its defense perimeter, prioritizing civilian transports while abandoning valuable equipment and resources without hesitation. When the Kraxan captured a partially evacuated facility and took 50 miners hostage, they expected the humans to stand down. Instead, Eric broadcast a message to all Kraxan ships. To the Kraxan forces holding our people, those miners have families waiting for them. They have names, stories, and people who love them. We will not abandon them. The Kraxan commander was bewildered by this response. In standard galactic warfare, hostages were leverage, not individuals to be concerned about. While the commander hesitated, special teams of human rescuers, using tactics developed during Earth's history of hostage situations, managed to free most of the captives. After 3 hours of unexpected resistance, the Kraxan forces retreated, but not before their commander sent a final message. You fight like no species we've encountered. This makes you dangerous, not valuable. As the last civilian transport reached safety, Eric allowed himself a moment of relief. Earth had won its first space battle without becoming what the aliens expected. Unknown to the humans, Viridian observers had watched the entire engagement from a cloaked vessel at the edge of the system. Their report back to their government contained one significant observation. Humans employ warfare principles that violate conventional galactic military doctrine, but prove surprisingly effective. Their priority on individual lives makes their behavior unpredictable and dangerous. Recommendation: reassess threat level immediately. On Earth, Global Defense Director Frank Adams received Eric's battle report with mixed emotions. "We saved most of our people," he told President Ward, "but the Kraxen will be back. And next time, they'll be better prepared for our tactics." "Then we'll need to be ready," she replied. "But we'll do it our way, the human way." 6 months after first contact, Earth had changed dramatically. 12 alien civilizations had established diplomatic relations with humans. Some came out of curiosity, others from strategic interest. All watched human military development with suspicious eyes. Dr. Olivia Martinez stood before the Galactic Council chamber, nervous but determined. Once a xenobiologist on the horizon, she was now Earth's chief representative to the interstellar community. The chamber held delegates from 27 species, most of whom had been fighting each other for centuries. "Humans request access to the complete historical archives," Olivia stated clearly. "If we are to join the galactic community, we must understand its history." The Viridian representative rose, towering over her. "Such access is restricted. Your species is too young to." "Too dangerous, you mean?" Olivia interrupted. The room fell silent. No one interrupted in council. After the tense meeting, Olivia met secretly with a junior Viridian scientist named Trell. Unlike most of his kind, Trell believed sharing knowledge was better than hiding it. "This data crystal contains what you seek," he said, passing her a small glowing object. "But be careful. Knowledge changes those who receive it." That night, in her secure office, Olivia accessed the crystal. What she found confirmed her worst fears and sparked new hope simultaneously. Earth wasn't unique in developing taboos against war. Throughout galactic history, dozens of species had evolved similar ethics, but all were systematically eliminated or subjugated by the dominant powers who found their peaceful nature threatening to the established order. The Peaceful 63, the records called them. Civilizations that reached the stars with cooperation rather than conquest as their goal. Some were destroyed outright. Others were manipulated into civil wars that destroyed their unity. A few were turned into client states, providing resources to the warring powers. The records contained one more shocking truth. The galactic powers feared humans not because they were peaceful, but because historical analysis suggested Earth's combination of technological ingenuity, social cohesion, and ethical flexibility made humans uniquely dangerous if forced into full-scale war. What made humans different from the Peaceful 63 was their history of rising from devastating conflicts with renewed determination to avoid them, but also with greatly advanced technology and tactical knowledge. "They don't fear our peace," Olivia whispered to the empty room. "They fear our potential for war, combined with our desire to avoid it." The next morning, she presented her findings to Earth's Leadership Council in a secured room. "We face a choice," she concluded. "We can build traditional military might and become what the galaxy expects, another warring species fighting for resources, or we can show them something new." Global Defense Director Frank Adams frowned. "They'll destroy us if we don't defend ourselves." "I'm not suggesting pacifism," Olivia clarified. "I'm suggesting we leverage what they truly fear, our capacity for both terrible destruction and remarkable restraint." President Ward leaned forward. "What exactly are you proposing, Dr. Martinez?" Olivia displayed a new strategy on the main screen. The human Concordat. "Instead of building offensive fleets, we create defensive capabilities that make invasion costs prohibitively high. We establish self-sufficient habitats that can't be easily blockaded. And most importantly," she highlighted a section of her proposal, "we offer sanctuary to refugee populations from war zones across the galaxy." "You want to save the people they're fighting to control," Alice Bennett said, understanding immediately. "Exactly. We become the one place in the galaxy where peace isn't just talked about, it's practiced." Frank looked skeptical. "The major powers will see this as a threat to their control." "They already see us as a threat," Olivia replied. "But this approach gives us allies among their own populations. Every person who chooses peace strengthens our position. A heavy silence filled the room as Earth's leaders considered this unprecedented approach. "It's risky," President Ward finally said, "but it's true to who we are, or at least who we've been trying to become." As the council began debating implementation details, Olivia gazed out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Kraxen were planning their next attack. The Viridians were watching and waiting, and billions of beings lived under the shadow of endless war. "Time to show them another way," she whispered. 2 years after first contact, Earth faced its greatest challenge. A coalition of aggressive powers led by the Kraxen Imperium moved to isolate humanity before the human problem could spread. 8 massive warships approached Earth, expecting either surrender or a futile military response. What they found instead shocked the galaxy. Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of the Ambassador, Earth's newest vessel. Unlike the warships of other species, the Ambassador was designed primarily for communication and diplomacy, though it carried advanced defensive systems. "Kraxen fleet has entered the solar system, Captain," reported her tactical officer. "They're broadcasting demands for our surrender." Lisa nodded calmly. "Open all channels, not just to the Kraxen command, but to every ship in their fleet." Over the past 2 years, Earth had implemented the human Concordat. Rather than building massive military fleets, humans had constructed a network of self-sufficient habitats throughout their solar system. Their defensive capabilities made invasion costs extremely high without presenting an offensive threat. More importantly, Earth had opened its doors to refugees and established direct communication with populations across the galaxy, bypassing government controls. "This is Captain Lisa Morgan of Earth Vessel Ambassador," she began, her message reaching not just the Kraxen commanders, but every crew member on their ships. "We understand you've come to end what you call the human problem. But before you attack, you should know what that problem really is." Across the Kraxen fleet, beings of various species listened. Many were not there by choice, but through conscription or conquest. "For thousands of years, your leaders have claimed that war is inevitable," Lisa continued. "That peace is naive. They've destroyed civilizations that believed otherwise. They've told you that you must fight to survive." The Kraxen commander's furious face appeared on a separate channel. "End this transmission or face immediate attack." Lisa ignored him, continuing her broadcast. "Humanity's history is filled with war too. We've fought ourselves nearly to extinction. But we learned something your leaders don't want you to know. Peace isn't just possible, it's better. For everyone." She activated a special transmitter developed by Earth scientists. It sent data packets containing Earth's historical records, showing how global cooperation had led to greater prosperity than conflict ever had. "In 2 years, we've welcomed 10,000 refugees from war zones across the galaxy. They live among us now, helping build something new. They keep their own cultures, speak their own languages, but without the constant fear of destruction." The Kraxen fleet held position, not advancing despite their commander's orders. On several ships, crew members began questioning why they were attacking a civilization that posed no threat. "We don't fear war," Lisa said, her voice strong and clear. "We fear becoming what we once were. We invite you to fear the same." She signaled to her crew, and small Earth vessels moved into view around the solar system. Each carried refugees who had chosen Earth's protection, including members of the Kraxen species itself. One of these refugees, a former Kraxen general, added his own message. "I served the Imperium for 40 years. I believed in endless war. Then I saw another way. You can too." The Kraxen commander raged against this human trickery, but it was too late. Across his fleet, ships began breaking formation. 3 vessels announced they would not fire on civilian habitats. 2 more requested permission to withdraw. Without firing a single shot, Earth had won its most crucial battle. In the days that followed, the Kraxen fleet withdrew. Within months, other galactic powers approached Earth for true diplomatic relations rather than military alliances. The galaxy had expected humans to either become conquerors or be conquered. Instead, they offered a third path, one that challenged the fundamental assumption that perpetual war was inevitable. As Lisa looked out at the stars from the ambassador's observation deck, she thought about humanity's journey, from isolated dreamers to galactic changemakers in just 2 years. The truth they feared was simple, she said to herself. Peace isn't just possible, it's stronger than war, and we had the scars to prove it. Throughout the galaxy, for the first time in millennia, beings of 1,000 worlds began to hope for something new, a future where war was a memory, not a necessity. The human way was spreading.